Okay, so Saturday morning, just coming in for a few hours to do a little bit of milling. Truthfully, I've been thinking for about an hour what I'm going to do on the drive over, and I still don't know. I'm not actually sure, so just start getting set up and see what happens.
You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just got to run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, run, but I can't stop running because you're not running with me. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life won't chase it with you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
So we faced off the top of that chunk, and then you see that sort of big sort of chunk I just machined off, that big circular chunk to sort of leave that little island. That was a complete accident. I forgot to put the tool offset in. It's an 8mm end mill. I forgot to put that in, so instead of taking 0.2 of a millimeter off, it took 8.2 of a millimeter off. Well, 4.1 on one side, 4.1 on the other. So, you know, I'd planned to sort of make a... Oh, this is on the wrong setting. There we go, the colour's a bit better now. I planned to make that really, really chunky spinner, and I'm like, oh, I've got to make it 4mm less chunky. It went 4mm deep. We'll keep going where we left off, and hopefully we can sort of see how far we get with it. So I've had to stop before making this sort of square cut in the bit of titanium. I've had to stop before it's finished because I think this is the first tool I've had that's worn away and I can detect it, because there's the quality of the cut doesn't look very good, but also there's like a sort of vibration through the machine, and I'm like, that vibration shouldn't be there, and I know I'm not taking a cut that's too big as far as I can tell, I'm pretty sure. So just gonna take out that 4 flute 8mm end mill and put in this one here, which is another 8mm end mill, but it's 3 flute. So I'll show you this. So that's the end mill there. You can see it's 3 flute. You see the three essentially blades on the end. That's what's called the flutes. So this is the one that's gonna hopefully save the day. Right, so that's the 3 flute end mill in. However, I would like to show you something. If you take a look at this is the 4 flute end mill that came out. Hopefully that's focusing. Look at that. The tip of that is just, it's lost teeth, it's rounded off, it's absolutely, completely wrecked. Today I learned that even though the tip can be completely wrecked, it can still cut, like, to a degree. You get vibration. I'm sure it's probably not good for the machine really. Certainly not good for the workpiece, but it's amazing how I was expecting like something, like some flaw with this that I couldn't visually see, but it was somehow, you know, not working right. No, it's just, you know, it's just wrecked, and wrecked in an obvious way. I'm not sure if it's just general wear and tear, or done, you know, moved it in certain ways, cut in certain ways that I shouldn't have been, but I do know in yesterday's video, I'm not sure if you saw it, but the tip got red hot a few times because I wasn't spraying enough coolant, and you know, I have a sneaky feeling that that's what kind of set it up for getting wrecked. You know, once metal gets red hot, it changes the structure, etc, etc, etc. So, new bit, it's been zeroed, it's set to go, let's keep going. So, I have been doing, where's it gone? Ah, lost the spinner. I carried on machining a bit more, skimmed round, bore out the centre on the other side, and bore out the centre for the bearing, and this is the result. One side is cleaner than the other, so I will show you the clean side. So the bearing is going to go in the centre. I had to skim it, test the bearing, skim it more, test the bearing. I had to do it a few times, but the bearing is now a really snug fit. These two big large holes are for the buttons to go, and that is going to be one chunky spinner. So it's going to be like, just for fun, you know, why not? I'm not going to do any beveling or anything like that. I just want to try and get the concept done, kind of prove it, muck around. A couple of things. One, When I make spinners, which shouldn't be far away, but I've been saying that for about 2 months now, nevertheless I will keep saying it, they won't be made on here. I prototype, I muck around. I've only had this for a month or so. I'm just learning it. It's for my prototyping, it's for sharing videos, doing this kind of thing with you. But when it comes to making a proper spinner, I won't be making this one, almost certainly not. But I've got a couple of other designs I'm working on. They'll be made up at my machinist's place. He's got a couple of fancy Japanese CNC milling machines and a lathe, and that's where I do production work. So no production pieces get made on here, not anytime soon anyway. Whew, just getting outside. It is loud in there. We've got the water jet cutter going, so it makes it a little bit difficult to hear the milling machine. You have to sort of listen to the sound of it and see if it's cutting right and that kind of thing. What I need to do now on it is make 2 buttons like this. Actually, what I need to do now on it is mill out. The bearing only went halfway through. For some reason the milling wasn't completely vertical. Not quite sure why that is, so I need to flip it over and mill it a little bit more, and then the bearing will fit a bit better. It's just a little bit too tight. I can't get it in. So this was the button I made in yesterday's video. I completely wrecked it. I was trying to bevel it, and I just wrecked the edge of it. I need to make 2 buttons, something like this. This one is a little bit sort of nimble, so I will make sort of 2 that are a little bit chunkier. They have to be really deep because this is really deep. Unfortunately, I do not have time for that today. I have to call it a day at that. I will of course leave you with a quote on helicopter. Man. I will of course leave you with a quote. I don't know who it's by, so I will leave it unattributed, but it is, do not let great ambitions overshadow small successes.